But no, we have nothing to do with those values.
You're more like assessor cleanup.
Yeah. Cleanup person. I'm the cleanup woman.
Hello everyone, I am Melanie Youngsma, publisher of the Lansing Journal. The Lansing Journal is Lansing's only newspaper, and we work hard to keep our diverse community informed and connected. One of the things that is on everybody's mind right now is property taxes.
Yes.
Many of us got our tax bills last week, and many people saw dramatic increases in their tax bills. That is why I am sitting here right now with Cassandra Elston. Cassandra Elston is the Thornton Township Assessor, and we are hoping that today she will have some answers for us.
And I hope I can have some good answers.
So your title is Assessor, but you aren't doing assessing. You're not assessing.
No, okay. I am not the Cook County Assessor. The Cook County Assessor assesses
He's
these
doing
values
the assessing.
and is supposed to make sure that the values are fair and uniform across the board. I am more or less a liaison or a go-between the Cook County Assessor, our state legislators, and the taxpayers, giving them the message of what's about to happen, what they need to know and what they need to do.
So you're not doing the assessments yourself, but you're explaining the assessments
Right.
that have been done
Right.
and helping correct them when needed.
Yes. That's what we do. So, as you know, there's a reassessment that takes place throughout all Cook County every 3 years. So the Cook County Assessor starts with the north suburbs. The following year is the city, and then the following year is the south suburbs. So
this was our turn.
this was our turn last year. So everyone in the south suburbs, especially in Thornton, received letters from the Cook County, a letter from the Cook County Assessor's Office with a picture of your property or properties on it, letting you know what your current assessed value is or your market value, and then what your proposed value is going to be for this year. It would take effect on your second installment taxes this year. That letter gave a description of the property, and it also gave you a deadline, a date in which you could file an appeal with the Cook County Assessor to try to get a decrease in value that would help you out on this bill. So if you got the letter and you didn't read it, then you blew that date for this year. However,
But let's talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Because it was last August that you and Cook County Assessor Fritz Kagi were in South Holland, and that was kind of a public relations tour about those letters.
Right.
Because people were alarmed. Many people saw a spike in their assessment. And Assessor Kagi made a point of saying, just because your assessment went up doesn't mean your taxes are going to go up, or to the same degree.
Right. Well, with this bill, number one, the assessed value increased. Whenever there's an increase, probably with the equalization factor, which is governed by the state, if they need more money in their budget or levy to operate, then the equalization factor will increase. It'll probably increase the dollar amount due. I was told that the Cook County Assessor rescinded the COVID relief from when COVID was around, and I think it was something like an 8 to 12% decrease. So he took that back. That would cause the taxes to escalate. Also, this year, some of the rates went down to maybe 20 or 19 point something. So now you're looking at a homeowner's exemption for $1,900 instead of $2,100, which means you're paying more because you're not getting that little cushion deducted for that homeowner's exemption. And it also, not only did that affect the homeowners, it affected the senior exemption and also the disabled homeowner's exemption.
So this is kind of a perfect storm of things that happen. Have you ever seen an increase this great?
I had been with the Cook County Assessor's Office, I think through Tom Hines or Houlihan, and I've never seen anything this drastic. There were a lot of missing exemptions that didn't show up on the bill. A lot of senior freeze exemptions were not deducted from the bills. So when your exemption is not deducted, then yeah, you're going to see a much higher tax bill too.
So there's a lot going on, and
Yes.
and your office is feeling that. You probably are getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of visits.
Listen, last Monday we took in 173 people
On one day.
on one day. The office opens at 9, we close at 4. The ladies get there at 8. If there's a line at 8:15, they open the office and they start working with the taxpayers. 2 of them for sure I know was at the office until 6:30 at night, because the exemption forms we have to put into the system for Cook County. And it's not enough. We're not equipped that great to where we can handle that flow of people. It's beginning to die off a little bit, thank God. But we're trying to keep up with all of this and submit everything to Cook County as fast as we can. If the taxpayer needs a bill immediately, then we process the paperwork for them, and then you send them over to the Cook County Assessor's Office in Markham Courthouse. And a lot of the taxpayers have gotten back with us, and they are very happy that we gave them that information and go over to the courthouse, and they get their adjusted bill right there on the spot. So they're very happy about that, reflecting whatever exemption they missed.
So, like, the typical process would be somebody comes to you and says, my bill doubled, my bill tripled, what am I going to do about this? And they're angry probably, or confused or overwhelmed. And do you sit down with them then and look at the items on their tax bill and say, oh, I see last year you got a senior freeze, this year it's missing, let's take care of that?
We sit down with them, we try to get them to calm down first. Because if you're not really happy and you're out talking to us, then you're not really getting the full message. So the job first is to try to calm the person down, let them know,
A little bit of therapy happens first.
I get a bill too, just because I'm the assessor and I retired from Cook County. Don't think I get a discount, because I get a full bill just like you do. But we sit down and we go over this bill with them. We show them how they can look at the bill and compare the second installment bill, and they can compare 2022 to 2023. And you can look down at the different agencies and you can see where your increases came from.
So is everybody's situation a little bit different, or are you seeing any patterns, like a lot of senior freezes have been removed for some reason, or veterans are not getting their discounts? Are there some commonalities that people can look for?
Well, let me go back to the first exemption, which is a homeowner's exemption, and then there's a senior exemption. And by the way, you have to be 65 in the tax year which we're paying to qualify for any senior exemption, meaning you would have to be 65 last year, because this year we're paying last year's taxes. So then you would come in the following year, sometime in March. That senior exemption is based on age, and the homeowners and the seniors, regular senior exemption renews itself every year in the system. So if you're
Once you apply for that, you're
in until you get further notice from the Cook County assessor that you have to reapply for the seniors.
Okay.
But normally it's an automatic renewal. So the senior freeze is the one that's based on income, where you have to be 65 years of age last year. And it's based on income of household income of $65,000 or less. So that's the one that you have to apply for every year, because we don't know when your income changes.
And probably a lot of Thornton Township residents qualify for that.
Yes, and again, a lot of them were not deducted off of the bill. So we noticed a lot of those freezes were not deducted, not so much as the disabled veterans and the disabled homeowners, but mostly the seniors. What we did notice, though, that there was a spike in the land values. Yeah. So in the real world, during a reassessment, you will notice the increase on the improvement, which is a house. People say, well, I didn't make an improvement to the house. No, the word improvement just recognizes that structure. Doesn't mean that you did any improvements to the house. And so it's broken out. You are assessed for the house or the building, whatever's on that, and then you're also assessed separately for the land. So we've noticed there has been a spike in some of the areas, like in South Howland. Mayor DeGraff had called me and let me know about a couple of locations in South Howland where the land values had increased. I talked to Mayor Patty Adam in Lansing, and there were some areas there where the land had spiked for whatever reason, I don't know. Normally,
It just looks prettier this year.
looks prettier that way, what can I say? Normally, that would happen, I would say like in the city, like in Hyde Park, where there's prime land that's considered a prime area, or if there's an area where the site is beneficial, meaning that the property is adjacent to a golf course or park, the land would have more value to
That
it.
makes sense.
Yes, so
Sometimes it's random.
yes. So we are looking now if a property has an acre or more of land, we're looking at the values of the land to make sure that it hasn't spiked, and if it does, then we tag that and send it to the Cook County Assessor's Office for review.
Okay. And you said that you're seeing quite a lot of deductions that were applied for. People
Yes.
applied for this, but they weren't applied. They weren't put on the bill.
No.
So even though people did the paperwork correctly, maybe you helped them with it even and submitted it,
Yeah.
it's not showing up. So you can see that on the bill,
Yes.
and you have the files that show that
It was
they
received.
submitted it on time and all of that. So there is something going on in the system that people should be aware of.
Yes.
They may have deductions that they should have got that didn't show up on their bill.
Well, yeah, it didn't show up. However, it's not too late. So if you did not receive that deduction off of the second installment tax bill, again, if you'd like, you can come to the Thornton Township office. We will write up that paperwork for you, attach all the documents that you need. You also need to have, what's most important is that you have to bring your ID with you. That ID must reflect the address of where you are getting this exemption. It has to be current. So if you could bring all that in your property index number or your tax bill, we can get all that paperwork together for you. Again, if you need that bill in your hand immediately, you can take that paperwork to Markham Courthouse, to the Cook County Assessor's Office. They will process that adjusted bill for you and give it to you in your hand. If you have a mortgage, you can send that adjusted bill to them so they'll know which bill to pay and adjust your escrow.
So, not to bring up old news, but I remember that you and Supervisor Tiffany Henyard have had some drama, and you, I believe, still don't have a private office in the Thornton Township headquarters building. Is that still the best place for people to meet with you?
Yes. I guess I'll always be known as, you're the one that got locked out of the office. So I go to the store and that's, people identify me by the hair and are you in your office yet? No, I am not. It's a word game. So
If people want to have a private conversation with you, can they do that at the Thornton Township
we can
building?
whisper out in the common area. So when I first became the assessor, I had a private office with a door where you could come in, close the door, we can discuss your health issues if you were applying for a certain exemption that involved the health. If you wanted to talk about your finances, which would be the senior freeze. Some people would just come in and they just want to sit, cry, and vent, and we close the door and give them water and, let you vent. Well, I don't have that. We don't have that luxury anymore. So I'm sitting out in a common area, which is the area where the ladies, the support staff sits. However,
And they're all very friendly, right?
yeah, they're all very friendly. We do the best we can.
It's not exactly private, but it is
It's not private.
comfortable.
It's comfortable, and we still do our jobs. Nothing is going to stop me from doing my job that I was elected to do, and that's for sure. But what it did do was it opened up many areas in the township for me. The first one was with my mayor, Thaddeus Jones, Mayor DeGraff, Mayor Lawrence Jackson over in Riverdale. A lot of mayors.
They're creating a space for you to
They created a private space where I can talk one-on-one with their taxpayers if I need to do that, which I thought was it was wonderful. It was
That's
nice.
People helping people.
Yeah, people helping people, and as elected officials, that's what we're supposed to do. So I can go to South Holland. I can go to Lansing. Mayor Patty, she has been just wonderful. She's offered space for us to support, mental support too. And it's just opened up a lot of areas and built a better relationship. It just took that relationship to another level.
Nice.
And I just thank all the mayors for that.
So if people call the Thornton Township Assessor's Office, they can make arrangements to either come there and meet with you or figure out some other place to meet. And it sounds like people might get a better result if they do consult with you just because you know the system, you know what paperwork is needed, and you know the people who are involved. Is that true, or could people do this on their own?
A lot of people blow it. Sometimes they're not sure of what they're supposed to send. They don't send everything, so therefore if everything that the county needs is not there, then that exemption, that paperwork probably is not going to get processed because it's an incomplete file. We try to get the people in and out. We try not to, even with the 173 people that day, we were getting them in and out. We don't like to have you waiting, but if we have the time, we try to explain everything to you right then and there. You may not like it when we get through, but I hope you understand the process a little better. But I don't like people leaving the office until they thoroughly understand how this process goes.
Have there been cases where you've had to say, nope, I'm sorry, all of your exemptions did get applied and your value went up, and I'm sorry, this is your tax bill, you have to pay it?
Yeah, there's been a number of occasions where we tell them, all your exemptions are here. We recalculate the exemptions for them in the bill. It comes out to the same numbers. And that's the part of the job where, I hate where I have to tell them, this is your bill, this is what it is. The only thing left to do would be to file an appeal when that time comes and hope that you get a decrease in value, which I know is not going to help you immediately for this particular bill. The appeal process just moves forward to the next tax bill. But yeah.
So in those cases, they can't appeal the bill, but they can appeal the valuation next time.
Moving forward, yeah. So that's the time when I'm like, what am I feel like I'm worthless, because, I'm telling the truth, this is what it is, and it's not a good feeling, no. The appeal process, I'm being told that we should be open for the appeal process sometime in September, possibly September the 12th. I'm trying to let my staff get over these tax bills first, and then they can help me with the appeals. Right now, I've been called upon to appear at different towns to talk about the tax bills and the appeal process.
All right, so let's summarize.
Okay.
This year, people have their tax bills.
Yes, they do.
What they can do is visit you or call you and make arrangements for a visit, and you will look at, they can look at their own deductions and exemptions and make sure they're all there. They can talk to you and see if there's anything else they can do to get this year's bill lowered.
Okay, because of a missing exemption.
You'll look at it.
We'll look at it.
No promises.
Yes.
And then are there things they can do now to prepare for next tax bill season?
I'm getting ready to talk to the various mayors, state reps, to start hosting meetings throughout the township, which is what we do every year, and especially when there's a reassessment.
And those are public meetings, everybody's invited.
Listen, we have people from Indiana to come over here. I know nothing about Indiana. We had to make an appointment with the Indiana assessor, went over there one day to learn their process. They came and visited us, so.
And those are informational. And
they're informational.
They'll help people file the correct forms and understand what is being asked for and all of that.
Right.
And that's all to prepare
for moving forward for next year. So all I have to say is 3 years from now, when you receive a letter from the Cook County Assessor's Office, that's letting you know that that's a reassessment year. Please open that envelope up. Please.
At least read your mail.
Please read that, because it's going to let you know, again, what your current value is and what your proposed value is. It's proposed because it's not etched in stone. You have a filing period where you can file an appeal against the increase. So please open it. I know a lot of us, especially me, I'm one of them, that don't want to look at it, but look at it so you won't miss that filing period, because it will affect the taxes for the following year.
Okay. And let's think longer term. 2025 is an election year in Thornton Township, in Lansing, in our community, local elections. Do local elections have any impact on our property tax bills, or not really?
I think all elections, everybody that the voters go out to vote for, you need to do your homework. Has this person done what you've expected them to do up to your expectations? We're all not perfect. There's some things that we can work on and we can help, we can change, and then there's something at that lower level that, we can't. We have to go to the higher level and ask for that assistance. But certainly do your homework. Has this person, you voted for them at the last election, have they represented you the way you want them to represent you? Have they talked to you and given you information in a manner in which you want them to give it to you? Did they give you the truth, the whole package? So, you have to look at that when you go out to vote for all of us. And that includes me too, because I'm not perfect.
That's a lot of information to digest, and there may be good news in there sometimes, but we can't make any promises. I want to thank Thornton Township Assessor Cassandra Elston for sitting down with us and explaining what happened and what we can do.
Yes.
You've been a public servant in that position for a long time, and you do host a lot of informational sessions. You've been to the Lansing Library, you've been in South Holland, you travel around the community to keep people informed.
Yes.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah. And my staff and I, we love the job that we do. We run across some taxpayers, but we love you too. And, we do the best we can. But we love assisting the people, because, we're in the same category. The ladies that work in my department, they get those tax bills too. So we know how taxpayers feel.
Well, thank you for being here.
And thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for watching and listening and reading and doing all you can to stay informed and connected. We will see you next week.
Thank you. Just want to cover as much grounds as we can to help as many people as we can. Especially before this bill is due, so they can get those exemptions deducted, they can pay the lower bill.